And President Trump selling his tax plan to a sector that's already pretty much sold on the idea, manufacturers here in the U.S. Some would absolutely benefit from the cut if it came to fruition. Some, others, maybe not. Well, today the president made his tax pitch in Washington, D.C., to many of them in person. Standing behind him are manufacturing workers of all stripes, including steel, chemicals, and plastics, and aerospace. But ahead of the speech, he met with members of the National Association of Manufacturers, including the chairman and CEO of Snap-on, Nick Pinchuk. He is also the National Association of Manufacturers Tax and Economic Policy Vice Chair. You love it, right, Nick?
I do. We loved it today.
What's the best part about it for you?
Well,
as
I'll tell you this, is
businessman?
that this is the thing. If you think about this, is that if you're in a presidential visit, and we had one at Snap-on in April.
I remember.
The pageantry of a presidential visit is republic reaffirming. Everybody's pumped, even those people who might not like the current president. And one of the cool things about this particular visit and the one at Snap-on is the president came to say things highlighting manufacturing. He said things like manufacturing fills our shelves, fills our homes, stocks our shelves, enriches our lives. He highlighted manufacturing, and he celebrated the pride and dignity of the American worker. He said, we honor work, we honor grit, we honor those people who leave their hearts on the factory floor and turn their dreams into reality with their own two hands. And it couldn't have been more music to the ears of manufacturers.
Oh, and the employees. I completely agree. You know, it's almost a salve for a wounded sector of America over the past many years where they keep seeing their paychecks shrink, they're laid off. So to that point about employees, you, as we checked, you pay an effective tax rate at Snap-on of more than 30%. So falling down to 20%, I am sure you're jubilant about. Would it almost immediately translate into hiring? Would you hire once it came to fruition?
I think that's a hard thing to say, depending on what it is. But generally, if you increase the favorability of the economics behind any company in any jurisdiction, it's going to be positive for us. And that would be true with Snap-on in the United States. We already make 80% of what we sell off our vans, we make here in the United States from American steel, and hand tools, quite a bit of labor.
I would imagine.
So we are sort of the quintessential already American manufacturer, but generally this makes us stronger. I think the other thing about this, though, is, and this is important for Snap-on as well as everybody else, because we don't sell to businesses, we sell to the mechanics themselves, to people in the shops, and on the flight lines. And they would be encouraged by this, because this says that this particular town, I'm in Washington, D.C., is finally paying attention to American jobs.
Okay. I need to jump in because you are thrilled, because you would see a tax cut. But some of your compatriots, and whether they're in manufacturing or general business in the United States, have been eerily silent. We know why. Their effective tax rate, what they end up really paying in some cases, is below 20%. So let's just say they're only paying 18%. They would see it go up to 20%. I can imagine they're not happy about it. Are you hearing anything like that?
Well, we're not hearing things like that, but that's an overall rate. So it's a mix of international rate and U.S. rate, and that could be compounded by that could be made up of a relatively small international rate and a relatively foolish American rate. That could be one factor. I can tell you that the National Association of Manufacturers, 14,000 strong, which has 75% of its members are small businesses, are made ecstatic by this. And it comes back to this, I think the encouragement associated with this. I think in past, you could get people anywhere in Washington or any capital to say, we endorse American manufacturing. But the disadvantage of saying that is on occasion you actually have to act like it. And this focus represents a focus on American jobs. And I think even those manufacturers who might not at first find this to be favorable would find the focus to be positive.
Well, love your tools.
Our tools are great. People love them.
Hit my thumb with a hammer on a couple occasions.
Hey, the tools are great. They're very effective. And one other thing that why we loved what President Trump did is when people use Snap-on tools and they display the Snap-on brand, it is the outward sign of the pride and dignity they take in their work.